Welcome to PC Woods Kids Tech Talk. Today I'm very excited to show you the V-Color Prism Pro RGB kit. The one that I have here is a 16 gigabyte kit, two 8 gig modules, of course, and two non-DDR4 modules. So these are non-RAM modules. Copper alloy heat sinks, we're going to show you in a second. It has 3600 megahertz at CL18 timings on that XMP profile, which I'm going to be running it as on default. On the back of the box, it shows you how they recommend to install it for maximum performance, and that's the way I installed it. As you can see there, you've got your two dummy and two real, and they say that they support overclocking, so we're going to put this to the test. Obviously, they've gone through their quality assurance and their module testing. They stand behind it with limited lifetime warranty, which is great. So let's put it to the test. Inside the box, you can see here I've got one kit, which is the Prism Pro, the DDR4 memory. And then I've got another kit, which is basically the dummy RAM, right? The non-DDR4 memory, which we're going to put all together so that we fill in all 4 slots and we get that nice RGB feel on the board. Okay, now when you first look at them from far away, you can't really tell the difference which is which. But of course, they put, on it, you can see RGB non-DRAM, and then over here, it actually has the model and it tells you everything. So you know which is which because of that. And also, you can see at the bottom where the PCB board is, the lines, the copper traces are slightly different as well. So you can tell by different ways. But other than that, from the top, you can't really tell. I love the mirrored look, that mirrored finish. It's got a nice heavy feel to these because of the heatsink. Is definitely an improvement of what I felt before on other modules, which are very light and aluminum. These ones are slightly heavier, so that's going to really cool down the memory, which is nice. And it's going to support you, of course, on your overclocking. Now, on this AMD Ryzen 5 board, I've got the 3600 CPU there, as you can see, running at 4.1 gigahertz on an ASRock X570 Steel Legend board, which is going to support these memory modules running at 3600 at the CL18 timings, no problems. As you can see there, the chipset that it's using on these DDR4 is the SK Hynix. And, well, I tried to right off the bat go at 4000 megahertz, but I noticed that the Northbridge clock wasn't really increasing because of the CPU and motherboard limitations that I had. So I decreased it to 3800 megahertz overclock, and hey, that was a sweet spot for me. I instantly saw a performance increase. So let's talk about that a little bit in the benchmarks. First things first, on AIDA64 cache and memory benchmark, the read, write, copy, and latency, as you can see right there, if I were to compare that, so let's start with the memory read, you can see how this system performed with these modules at the default settings. Memory write, same deal, you can see how my system performed compared to those others, and memory copy. Now, when it comes to the latency, I found this to be above average on the latency speed. Not bad at all compared to these other ones. Now, overclocked to 3800 megahertz, keeping the CL18 timings, I noticed a performance increase on the read, write, and copy. Latency, of course, stayed the same because I didn't change any of the timings. So, what did that mean? That means 5% roughly increase in performance overall, just from going from 3600 megahertz, which was the defaults, to 38. Okay, so very nice jump there in performance. And remember this, if you have, let's say, a higher end AMD CPU working on a higher end board, you might be able to get much more overclocking out of this. So keep that in mind, right? This is just a mainstream machine, and look at this. So I ran some more tests. Maximum 2. I noticed also when I overclocked it, there was a slight boost in performance as well. So we're seeing a pattern here. Right? We're seeing a pattern on the performance increase, running it just at 3800 megahertz, which is very nice. You're not really stressing out the memory module at all. The performance test 9.0, the memory mark, I decided to take the memory read uncached number that I have there and compare that to other memory kits, because I wanted to see, okay, how does this perform against other kits? And you can see how well it performs there as well. So I'm very impressed here. Again, the latency is slightly above average, which is good to see. Well-rounded kit that is performing really nicely. CPU Z or Z, you can see right there, I ran the single thread and the multi-thread results, which showed that my system compared to another 3600 AMD Ryzen 5, which I basically killed that one. So again, these modules really help boost the performance overall. Now, if you're just interested in W prime, how long it takes to calculate things, there are some results for you. Same thing on the Super Pi You can see there the results that I got on those calculations, okay? Now, if you're doing rendering of graphics, I did notice a performance boost. If I'm running it at 3800 megahertz, it went up about 100 points. So that obviously decreased some time to complete the rendering, which is really good. That's what you want to see. Now, if you're installing this on a Asus, maybe a Gigabyte MSI or ASRock board like I am right here, you're going to be able to customize this beautiful LED look that you can see here. That's the default one. I didn't really do anything yet. It's got a nice pastel color to it, very smooth, very delicate, but bright. And of course, it doesn't have to look like this. You can customize this any way you want, depending on your board features and effects, right? So if your board supports these awesome looking effects, why not add to it? If your board has the M.2 PCI slot, which I have here, they also have these modules. This is a separate thing that you can buy from them, and I thought I'd just show it to you because I just happen to have 2 slots here on this workbench that I have. So I thought I'd just show you installing it in there. Now, it's not a hard drive. It's not an SSD NVMe hard drive, okay? It's not an SSD. It's just it's a dummy module that you put in there, and it also has RGB sync capabilities, which is really nice to see, and I thought I'd just add that in there as a bonus for you guys to just kind of envision that. Now, going back to the DDR4 Prism Pro kit, you can see here now I'm controlling the colors. I'm actually going through the features. I'm setting up what colors I want and the speed and so forth. This depends on your board, of course, and the capabilities, but it really looks nice. You can see here that I'm now trying different color combinations, different effects to show you the potential, right, on what you could do with this. And now I've installed it inside of a case. So I took it out of that workbench and I put it inside of a real case so you can kind of get a better feel of how it's working with other RGB components in there. So it looks very, very nice. Very nice to see. Now, it's up to you how you want to customize this. I love the way it looks, right? You can see the LEDs look very nice. The effects are cool. I like that mirror finish on it. So, you know, it reflects whatever you have on there as well. And the top LED bar looks really nice as well. You can see that right there. Okay, definitely recommend this module if you're looking for a kit and you want to really fill up your board with 4, and maybe you can't afford to buy 4 memory sticks. You just can only afford to buy 2. Well, this can be an alternative for you. Get the 2 DDR4 memory, and then get the 2 dummies, and then you're filling up your slots right there. I'll add the latest pricing below in the description. Okay, to link to it so you can get that and look into that, and you can obviously visit the vColor website right there. Comment below. Let me know what you think about this. Is this something that you ever saw, contemplated, thought about in the past? Do you have an RGB system? Do you want to customize it, make it a specific color? Comment below. Let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.